welcome to my kitchen. A bit of a different background today. However, I will be outside with the cars in a minute. I just wanted to do a little update about my daily. Obviously decided it wasn't very happy. At the end of that video, we decided that although I used my little code reader, I wanted to just take it to an Audi specialist, full diagnostics, just to literally know worst case scenario, everything that needed to be done, and get a rough quote for that. So I took it to a local garage who specialise in Audis. Obviously they plugged it in, code read it, and the consensus was that they quite frankly didn't want to quote me for the work. So that was obviously not the news I wanted to hear. They basically said that it would be thousands because they obviously only use genuine parts as well. So, which to be fair is like, now with how old the car is, how many miles I've put on it, it's just not worth it. So I bought that car in 2016. It was 3 years old. It had 20,000 miles on it. It's now obviously 2024, so we're like over 8 years later, and it's now on 142k. So I've done 120,000 miles in it just in my ownership. And don't get me wrong, that little Audi has been so good to me. People slate those engines and I don't know why, because in 8 years mine literally needed a water pump last year and that's it. Guess what though? The timing chain decided it needed to be gone. I'm going to put a little video here. You can see how slack it was. And also, let me actually just go grab it. I didn't quite anticipate how dirty these were going to be, but these are the timing chain guides. And this one, as you can see, is missing a piece. So it should look like this, and it doesn't. So that piece of the guide had snapped off. And Charlie said it was sitting on top of my oil filter. If that had gone in my oil, it would have ended up in my engine and we would be looking at a really, really bad situation. I'm now shitbound, I've not even done anything yet. Oh, faithful hoodie. I do own other clothes, by the way. This is just my favourite comfy, already shitbound hoodie that I do cast off in, so I promise I do it in other clothes. Following the news from the garage, I had many meltdowns about this and how much it was going to cost me, and that I then wouldn't be able to sell the car and have that money to put towards a new car. Charlie, bless his heart, if you watch any videos on this channel you will know how good Charlie is to me and all the stuff he does to my cars, bless him. So he basically said, fine, I'll do your timing chain, as much as he didn't want to do it because obviously if you don't do them right they can cause more problems, and he just didn't want it on his conscience if it went wrong, which is entirely fair, but bless his heart, he did it for me. He spent a few nights. One of the main issues was actually trying to get the crank pulley bolt, is that thing, I think, off. None of the impact guns we had were strong enough, so we had to borrow one. He finally got it done, bless him. And we kind of thought maybe the timing chain was going to be like the tip of the iceberg, because I was having misfires that we changed the coil pack over to see if it was the coil pack that was an issue, and if it then the misfire went to that cylinder, but it then went to a completely different cylinder than the one it came from and the one the coil pack went to. So it was like, shit, is there something majorly wrong here? But obviously because the timing chain, insert video, because the timing chain was so out, the timing was 90 degrees out, so it was literally all over the place. I did the timing chain, sounded a whole lot better, still was a little bit tappy, but Charlie said we can get some stuff that you put in the oil and it cleans the hydraulic tappets in the engine. So we did that, flushed all the old oil, put all new oil in, and now honestly it's so good. It sounds mint. You wouldn't even know that there was anything wrong with it a couple of weeks ago. There's no horrendous noises, it runs mint, there's no misfires. Honestly, I'm so grateful for Charlie. So my current dilemma is, do I keep it and really run it into the ground? And if I keep it and keep putting more miles on it, it's going to be worthless in the long run. So do I do that, or do I sell it and get something else as my daily? So that is my current issue. The car is up for sale. I don't know if I can let it go yet, but what I need to do now is actually get it ready for sale. So I've had a few little issues lately where things have broken or need cleaning up. One of them was that I hit an already dead deer that was in the middle of the road, and obviously because the car's quite low, it ripped my front splitter off and also the middle section of the bumper that goes with it. So here we are, I have another one. It's not painted, so I am going to paint it. That's one of my jobs today. This is very much more plasticky than I thought. So this is the middle section of the bumper. It looks really big, but I don't know. It's from China for sure. Anyways, I'm gonna go scuff this up, paint it, try and get it on the car. We'll see what happens. Daytona Grey double acrylic concentrated paint. Now this is a really tiny can, it's 150 mils, but it did say that this should do the same as 300 mils because it's concentrated. We shall see. And I got some lacquer. Now, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but here you have to be over 18 to buy aerosols. I'm 30 years old and I just got ID to buy lacquer. Yeah, this is actually primered, but I am just going to scotch it with my little scotch pad. But I'm going to scotch it just so the actual paint sticks. It's such a tiny section of the bumper, it really doesn't matter. I can't tell if I'm that happy with how this has come out at the moment with 2 coats of rattle can, but I have still got lacquer to go. I might even, when that's dry, scotch it down a bit and then do another coat and then lacquer it, but we shall see. This is my front end currently, and this is where that bit of the bumper goes. So there's all bits snapped off, and obviously this isn't attached. So I need to obviously put the middle bit in and then reattach this, and hopefully it will look a little bit less sorry for itself. I do also need to give some attention to my rear quarters because where this is so low on coilovers, if I have anyone sat in the back of this drops really bad, and actually you can see yes, actually, because this has been sat over that, it's literally taken so much of my tyre off there, and because of that, it was wearing all this paint, and like you can see there's all tyre like round here, so I need to give this a good clean up and then sand that back and then just touch that up as well. Same with the other side, and then obviously I also need to take my spoiler off. I'm gonna miss this thing. So this is traffic film already done. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use some clay bar as well. Look at all that tyre coming off. So I'm obviously making sure that I'm covering up the really dirty used bit of clay bar every now and again, and once I've like fully used this bit up I will swap it out. I've got a whole bit here. I actually only properly clay barred for the first time like last week. I clay barred the whole of the prelude because it had been sat under a tree at work. Keep your nasty comments to yourself. I'm new here. I'm in no way, shape or form a detailer. Before I touched up the arches, I didn't want to paint it and then need to clean the car, so I cleaned the car first. Now I'm just going to sand back all the arches and the bits that need to be touched up. I would just touch it up, but this has got surface rust just because it's been bare metal, so I'm just going to scuff it. I'm a bit scared. I don't want to make this look worse. Never done a touch up repair before. I have already started, but because there was like surface rust, I just need to try and get rid of that. Otherwise I probably would have just gone straight in with the touch-up paint. So I've literally never done a touch-up like this before. I'm not a painter, I've no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make this like acceptable.